struggle like you are lately.
Yeah, I don't know what it is either. I don't know. So we're live, everyone.
G'day, folks.
I can hear someone's radio and or TV or computer or everything in the background.
Audio contamination.
Audio contamination. I like that.
Who's watching the footy?
Yeah, I can hear you, Tobin, but somebody's. Let's go through the.
Let's stop now. If I'm not.
Somebody fix it.
Praise the Lord.
Pray indeed. Indeed. I like Tobin's look. Man in shadows. Very film noir, Tobin.
With just enough illumination to show the guitars.
That's right.
Yeah.
We like Tobin's guitars.
Tobin says he can't hear us. I believe I'm audible.
Yes, I can hear Andy. I can hear Tobin. I can hear John. Rage?
I hear everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can hear.
Sammy's good as always.
Good.
Sammy is good.
Did Andy freeze?
I did freeze. I did freeze, dude. I did freeze. This is ridiculous, to tell you the truth. But,
we're gonna have to put a banner up that says "Show currently hijacked."
Yeah, exactly. Well, you can still hear me.
Yeah.
And, so, this is by far not the most idiotic I've looked on camera.
It's not an epic pose, but it's close.
It's not epic, but it does have my brand of light calorie mayo, pretty well down. So I'm just going to go with the absurdity. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I'm just going to go with the absurdity.
Onward and upward, as they say, right?
It could have caught you in an O face. So.
Not a reference to Office Space.
I've had that happen to me, so it's not fun.
Yeah.
It's now everyone's freezing on me, but I believe everyone can still hear me, and I can still hear everyone.
John just froze for me as well, so I don't think that's just you.
John
right.
roboted a couple of times, but I think he's good now. Yeah, and the same thing, when Tobin moves quickly, it kind of chunks, but I think that's just frame rates, right?
Yeah.
It's a technical conspiracy.
That's what it is. I figured out, my stupid brain just figured out a way to solve the problem, but I can't do it right now, but I will be able to do it in the future. So I'm pointing up to my stupid gob of a brain, and I just figured out how to resolve the problem. But next week, everyone.
Is it to unplug your children's computers when you're trying to stream?
That's what it is. It's just get back to your mom's house. I think we've hit 2 weeks with Dad. I think we've hit the end of our tolerance for each other, to tell you the truth. My kid's hitting peak 16-year-oldness, and 2 weeks is a long time. It's a long time.
Yeah, you go from that, I love you, I missed you so much, it's great to be back, let's do something fun, to, do I really have to sit around here and listen to you all day?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like my whole childhood. I lived in North Carolina. My mom lived in Michigan, so twice a year we came up here. And this, Christmas was great. That was like a week and a half. But summer, after that first 3 weeks, 2-3 weeks, man, it was like, man, I want to go back home. Mom is mean. I don't like this anymore.
Yeah. And in my kid's defense, I am mean and funny at the same time. And hearing this over and over again, I look thoughtful, reflective, maybe in my current freezing mode right there. But there's a lot of times I'm just things just come out of my mouth that should come out of my mouth. I guess that's a nice way of putting it.
Well, do you find that sometimes your quips are immediate because you're thinking in that comedy realm, and perhaps they're a little too bitey for the person you're talking to? Because I find I've kind of spilled over into that territory myself from time to time, but I can imagine a professional comedian like yourself doesn't have a lot of breaks when it comes to that immediate reaction of something humorous that might also be bitey. shall we call it.
And let me just do a twist on this too. And this is the more I do comedy, the more this happens.
Coffee cheers.
It's tea, but you get the meaning.
Right.
I'm only mean. My daughter only ever really sees me be mean when I'm driving because I get road rage. It's pretty bad.
All right.
Rage getting raged.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
man, it's like Michigan people don't know how to drive. Like they just don't.
Nobody
it's
knows
pretty
how to
stupid.
drive.
Oh, down south,
right.
you know, we drove 100 down the dirt roads. You know, up here they go 70 or they go like 50 on the damn highway. It drives me insane.
We don't have a specific type of bad driver that you can watch for here in Vancouver. We're very multicultural, and we're also very multi-pathetic behind the wheel. There are people who drive too slow. There are people who have never used a signal in their life. There are people who drive too fast. There are people who turn right into the leftmost lane or turn right from the leftmost lane. There's just every single type of bad people who can't park, people who are on their phones constantly on the road, which now they're ticketing like crazy up here. But boy, I tell you, it is a challenge. As a motorcyclist up here, I don't drive at the busiest times of the day on the motorcycle.
Yeah, I grew
I've
up on a
gotten to
motorcycle.
spend some time. I've gotten to spend some time in Florida, and that state has the worst driving period I've ever seen. Like, if you sit at a stop sign, other cars will start going around you. If you stop and you check to make sure there's no oncoming traffic, the car behind you will jump out in front of you, nearly cause an accident. It like this happened to me multiple times. I would get stuck at a stop sign because everybody would start going around. They formed a line around me. It would suck. There's so many wrecks over there. They have these like turnarounds, and it spits you out. Like if you're not familiar with driving around there, it can get confusing at times because like you want to head north, you're going north, and then you pass up your where you should get off at and go in the other direction, but you got to take a turnaround in order to do that, and it takes you in this big ass loop, and it gets disorienting, and then it spits you out going in another direction you really didn't want to go. It sucks driving over there. It's horrible. I could sit there and complain even more about it.
Worst place I've ever actually been trying to drive was Atlanta, Georgia. Like everybody there goes 150 miles an hour. Like if you go the speed limit in Atlanta, Georgia, grandma's flipping you off. Like I'm like, damn, grandma, chill, man, chill. I'm an out-of-stater. I ain't getting pulled over.
Get out of the way.
Oh, I remember driving through Oregon, and a cop rolled up behind me, and they just basically pulled into the HOV lane there on the highway, and like gave me the glare as they went by me at 120 miles an hour. It's like, what? I'm doing the speed limit here. It's 75, right?
I give special courtesy to anybody with out-of-state plates.
Yeah, we have a thing in British Columbia about Alberta drivers, and that's the next province over. And we have it at this time of the year when the weather turns nice. Normally, we have a massive influx of Winnebagos, of RVs. You know, I don't know what you call them down there, but yeah, these recreational vehicles with Alberta plates of people doing like 15 kilometers an hour on the highway, or driving down the highway with their signal on, or you know, all their shit's blowing off the roof as they're driving down the road. You know, it's just every year it's the same thing. Oh, Alberta driver, you just go around them.
I'm coming up with this existential crisis that I realize that most of the time I'm online, and when I'm doing this, I just make funny faces, really. That's all I do. That being said, please continue, Rage. I'll be quiet.
I just give high eyes, so I mean, funny faces is better. I was like, the thing like up here is probably more a me thing because I just drive fast. We're known for three things in Michigan, and that's cars, cereal, and potholes. So it's probably not a good idea to drive very fast in Michigan.
Yeah,
we have potholes you can fall into, like your whole car will fall into.
We don't have a lot of as much money going into our infrastructure because of obviously the number of people paying tax and the amount of tax being paid. But luckily, our roads are kept up relatively well. But in Toronto, in the winter, the weather gets bad and they get a lot more ice and cold than we do, and the road heaves. And I have literally seen a raccoon run across the road and hide in a pothole in front of my car. And I was like, what the F just happened? And I'm like looking in my mirror and you see the head pop up and he runs the rest of the way across the road. And I'm like, what was that?
Yeah, it is like the severe cold that does it. So, we get our potholes from our winters, and every spring you have new potholes that you got to try to fix. It's crazy. That's why we legalized weed. And now the governor's saying that, we don't sell enough weed to fix the roads.
Yeah, everybody get out there and weed up.
Michiganders, go smoke some damn weed.
Did anyone check that Ox knows the sacred handshake?
I don't know. Don't give it away. I mean, It is a secret.
Yeah.
It's a double secret sacred handshake.
The girlfriend said she hated driving in Vancouver, but she'd rather drive in the UK. That's a bold statement.
That is a bold statement.
I have the sacred body shakes, but thanks Parkinson's, motherfucker. If I can't laugh at it, fucking, it's it's what it is.
Yeah, play the cards you're dealt.
Yeah, Lister says you would like Swedish roads. You use waste plastic to fix potholes. Wow.
What? That almost sounds like a better idea than what they're doing in most places.
What do you mean? You don't burn your plastic?
I was working for a politician that was running for Congress here until she turncoated and became a Republican. But she was looking into like this new green energy concrete. It's more expensive, but it actually it's more durable. So you pay more for it, but it lasts longer, especially in northern climates that do have more severe cold weather. And I'm surprised, when she was trying to promote it, like people was just turning a blind ear to her. Like they didn't want to hear about it because you do initially pay more, but you end up saving money in the long run because it lasts so much damn longer, and it pretty much pays it for itself, and it doesn't pollute the environment. So it's. I don't think we'll ever fix the road issue that we have.
I think the problem is, and I heard about this in the United States, and I know it kind of the same mental idea thing about it trickled over into Canada. But the problem is that there are people who work in road service, and everyone behind repairing the roads who gets paid to repair the roads realized that their business would immediately be cut by 50% if we started doing that. When you make a road, very, very little of the cost of the road is actually a factor. It's the cost of getting the equipment there, having the people there, and doing the actual work. So if you cut that number in half, you cut jobs. Well, they say you cut jobs, but there's enough damn roads in the United States to keep every one of them busy for the next 25 years, right?
Exactly. Sure. And we shouldn't be making a shitty project just so people can work. I mean, that's why we're talking about UBI now. Technology is taking over. People need to get used to it.
Yep.
Yeah.
I loathe busy work. That is like, I would rather not even do it. I will go home. Don't tell me to do silly, stupid shit.
Especially if something is going to be cleaner for the environment. I think that should be an immediate consideration given our present circumstances.
I had a friend who developed this synthetic concrete back in the 80s. They used it on the freeways in Utah. They did not follow the process. and the freeway disintegrated immediately. My friend ended up committing suicide because he got a bad rap on it, and
That's
yeah,
freaking horrible.
it was. I mean, anyhow, life in America.
I would have to say, to incriminate myself, that I'm not the best direction taker or reader. I would start trying
Neither
to put
am I.
things together first and wonder what's wrong with it, and then maybe I should look at the directions.
Follow the
Yeah,
instructions.
I've ruined
dude.
stuff.
They're there for a reason.
I've ruined stuff trying to put it together on my own.
Well,
It's as simple as painting. If you read the instructions on how to do it, that paint will go on easier and it'll save you time and it'll last longer.
I'm
Guys,
one of those.
I got to tap out. I just got dispatched for work. Great having a conversation with you, and I'll see you all tomorrow.
Take care, Dave.
Hey, Dave.
See you, Dave. I'm one of those people that
I like Dave.
I can't even get down the street
good
to my
dude.
local store without my GPS, and I
too.
still will end up in a river.
People make fun of me. I've lived here for 20-something years now, and I still only know one way to get anywhere, and it's usually the long way. And people laugh at it.
Well,
I go over and use paper maps.
there's different ways of navigating your environment, especially the road systems, right? I mean, there's the point-to-point system, which is what I do, Rage, and then there's people that have the abstracted maps somehow in their brains.
Yeah, no, I don't get
And
that.
like, I can just they do this Northwest Passage to go from A to B, and I'm like, I don't even know how to get there from the way that you're doing.
Yeah,
Hey,
I
I'm
don't
going to
get
run
it
out,
either.
guys. I got to go get gas for the mower. It takes me about 8 hours to mow the lawn with the riding lawnmower.
Dude, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Well, it's about 5 acres of lawn.
That's a lot of acres,
Yes.
dude. I had
But-
3/4 of an acre, and I thought that was a lot.
insane.
But
That's why I
it's,
live in apartments. I don't mow grass.
it's not mine. It's the kids, and
Yeah.
they help me out. The money sent this morning was sent by my daughter, Andy, not me.
Okay.
She loves me. I love you. Circle of
Well,
life.
thank you. I appreciate it,
out.
John.
Peace. Enjoy your weekends.
Take care.
Have
You
a
too.
good one, John.
All
Later,
right.
John.
Bye-bye.
See you, Tom.
See you, Tobin.
See you, mate.
Thumb is tore. I'm picking at my thumb.
Hey, share my screen, Andy.
Okay. No, yeah. Here we go.
Meet
What do we got
Omar.
here? What do we have? My God, Sammy, that's like 5 of my cats right there.
That's
That's
a
like
cat
the-
you can grab and use as like a throw pillow underneath your head as you take a nap.
It's like it's the manatee of cats.
Good point. Good. I like the imagery. So, Sammy, why hasn't this cat been conscripted to fight the war against the mice?
He very well could be. I was actually reading an article where this group got a whole bunch of scientists to look and do some research and stats on introduced feral cats. Essentially, they've covered 99% of our country. We've only got a few islands that they haven't invaded. But they're trying to say that where the cats and foxes have been introduced, the impact on the wildlife has been fairly minimal,
No, really.
as opposed to on certain islands where only mice were introduced. They've had a more detrimental effect. So they're saying that having the feral cats in this instance is better. But I mean, we've since 1880, we've lost 11% of our native fauna. That they believe due to the cats and the foxes. So, what do you do?
Yep.
And that cat ain't running after no damn mice.
Good point, Rage.
Ain't going nowhere.
That cat needs a training montage, a 1980s training montage to get into fighting shape.
Absolutely.
I was thinking about getting a cat, and I've decided not to.
So why?
No reason. I just decided not to.
Okay.
Yeah, I was back and forth on it for like 6 months, and I know my daughter really wants one, but yeah, I decided not right now.
Yeah, dude, you got stuff going on.
Yeah, but I was looking at them. I've always had like Siamese cats, like my whole life. This is like the last 5 years I haven't had a cat, so it's been crazy.
For the most. Yeah.
So I imagine the girlfriend, why are they introducing mice on the islands? I'm sure that was by mistake.
It was in the 1880s. Yeah, it was
1880s,
black mice or black rats or something.
Is that why the dodo died out? Is because the mice were eating the eggs?
Yes, I think I did hear that actually, or rats.
Rats, yeah.
Possibly, yeah. Yeah, that's right. But that Omar is essentially the size that these feral cats are getting. So imagine that, but lean, fit, hungry. They're extremely powerful and essentially double a house cat.
Wow.
Yeah, for real. Out here, we got bobcats out here, and they're basically like a domestic cat look, but just bigger, beefier. Yeah. I could see how some domestic cats could get going like that too as well.
In North Carolina, we had mountain cats. I think they're extinct now. I don't think they're in North Carolina anymore. But when I was growing up, we had them. And yeah, those cats were those are some big ass cats.
Well,
probably about the same size as a bobcat, Toby.
Right on.
So Sammy, are you're a mouse guy on the ground over there? So is it still as bad as it was like a couple of weeks ago?
It's worse.
It's
my
worse?
goodness.
Yeah, it's starting to get a bit worrying. Because if it gets too much worse, they're worried it'll get to a point where we can't pull it back.
Well, yeah,
and then what happens?
And breathing mouse feces isn't healthy.
I was just thinking that. Yeah, it'll give you breathing and respiratory problems. Yeah.
I lived in a house we were infested by mice. It was almost impossible to get rid of them. We ended up paying like professionally like 2 or 3 times before the problem finally went away.
Yeah. Whenever I've been in a house that has mice, I've always taken it seriously, because if you see one mouse or evidence for one mouse,
there's hundreds.
There's their number is legion. So yeah.
And your article pretty much, pointed out the main issue that we have is the poison, which is actually very common. We use it in our homes, but putting it in the environment is a whole different story.
Well, geez, and the bullshit
because
too.
It does go up the food chain as well.
Sure. So there's the idea of letting farmers just say, "Oh, we're going to trust the farmers to use this properly." It's like, yeah, that's nice, and maybe there's no other way of doing it. But let's not fool ourselves. There's going to be farmers that are just carpet bombing their fucking fields with this with very effective poison, but it's going to get into the crops.
I don't know if the article pointed out, but our farmers have just come out of a several years long drought.
Yes,
Like
it
a
did say that.
decade-long drought or something. So, and the first good crop they've had, and they got mice. So, and but also locusts is an issue. So we're going to have locusts competing with the mice in the next couple of weeks. Well, actually,
Oh,
it sort of
man.
started already. So
Well, I hear lamb's blood, Sammy, should save you from the next couple of plagues.
Just mark your door.
Yeah.
Oh shit, that's funny. I don't even think I've ever seen a freaking locust in my entire life.
No. And from what I understand, cicadas, which are coming out here in the States, they're not actually locusts. They're a different type of insect.
Yeah, we had the killer hornets now.
Haven't heard anything about the killer hornets. Haven't heard anything recent.
We're supposed to have them in Michigan, but I've never seen one.
Okay. Well, good for you. I could die happily without ever seeing a killer hornet.
I want to see. I want to get a bunch of them and see what kind of damage they do. Not to me
Ooh.
though.
Oh my goodness. I've been hit by, I think the worst sting I have felt in my life was the red wasp. I don't know if y'all have those, but they're pretty beefy.
I'm not sure. I got stung by some wasp down in North Carolina. They were all usually like black though, and yeah, that shit hurt.
Yeah.
That was
yeah, I felt like a bead of sweat going down my back, and I reached back with my hand, and I like went to just kind of like dry my back off a little bit, but it wasn't a bead of sweat.
I know, and that is a noticeable change that I've really been able to notice, because like I remember when I was a child, man, bees and wasps were everywhere, and it was like a really bad problem when I was a kid. They made a movie about it, My Girl, where homegirl died from it, and but now like it's hardly an issue at all. Like you see a few bees, but you hardly see them at all anymore. It's a noticeable change in the world that I've noticed.
I actually have a beehive up in a tree in my yard, and it's kind of messed up because the tree is leaning, and it's one of those trees that got hit by lightning, so it's got the split down the middle, and it's leaning, so I know it's gonna fall eventually. But there's a big old hive. Like whenever it's like real sunny outside, you can hear that sucker humming.
Oh yeah.
Have you ever seen the YouTube videos of people finding beehives in their walls and stuff like that? That's insane, man.
That's terrifying.
I've come across it myself. Yeah.
That's like insane.
So Dragons of Genesis, a cicada killer wasp, is that a real thing, Dragons? Is that I mean, it makes me think that they're like Nephilim or something, some kind of like mild, tall giant, some kind of biblical creature. A cicada killer wasp.
You probably find them in Australia, right, Sammy?
Right.
Holy
shit. They got everything that'll kill you there.
We do.
Oh no. Oh my goodness. That's not a made up thing? I thought Jason was kidding with us.
I have not Googled it yet. But let me do a quick Google search here. Cicada.
Damn, if I got a hold of a hummingbird, that thing is quick.
No, it's the European wasp. They're introduced.
Oh wow! I'm looking at a picture of the cicada killer wasp right now, and it looks like it means business. That's what it does. Let me share my page here. Wait a minute here. Cicada killer wasp. It looks like it means business.
Yeah, I don't want no business with that one.
No. Though it's a good case that there should be special armor, anti-wasp armor, or maybe.
I've seen bigger.
So, Riggs, how are you feeling these days, brother? I haven't seen you around.
I had a rough week, with the legs, but today's been a pretty good day. I had like this awful test yesterday where they were like electrocuting my legs and putting needles in my feet. It was horrible, man. Like, doctors are evil. Like, anybody that takes that specific profession and does that job, they're an evil person. I'm telling you.
So what was the purpose of it?
They're checking for nerve damage and muscle corrosion. Trying to, because I'm going to be having foot surgery, so they're trying to see the extent of the damage before they go in. I might have surgery on both of my feet, and it should, they tell me it's going to make it better, but I don't know. I'm a little disheartened after yesterday's test. I'm like, I might not be out of the woods yet. Like, they couldn't find either nerve in the bottom of my feet, and that seemed to be an issue, so that's got me all freaking out. Now I'm just waiting on my doctor to damn call me.
Wow, dude.
But I mean, it kind of makes sense. My feet's been jacked for a while, and capitalism makes you work even when you shouldn't be. Like earlier in the chat, I had to disagree with Ox. Sometimes not having a job is the best thing to do, because that's what I should have done. I should have stopped working and fixed my shit. But capitalism doesn't allow that.
I'll tell you, man. I was able to leave my job for like 6 or 7 months just because I got lucky. That's all.
Yeah.
I had the condo. I was able to sell it and basically move in with my girlfriend, and that was the only reason why I could sit out for a couple of months, for like half a year, basically. Yeah, a little bit over.
But like the great thing about it is, I haven't really been streaming much on my channel. I haven't been putting out edited videos, and I'm still growing faster than ever, because I have like these really shitty theists talking about me all the time, and they're so dislikable that anybody that sees them do it, they come and sub to me. So it's like I don't even really have to do anything anymore. I could just grow my channel and be lazy.
That's the best advertising, right?
Oh man, it's awesome. And I'm getting them today, like, because I knew, because when I talk, I don't talk about them on my channel anymore. I don't want to send subscribers their way. Right. I don't want to do that. So I'm putting it behind my Patreon paywall, and I'm doing the first stream today, and I announced it, and I knew. All right, so they both subbed, went to my Patreon and got the lowest amount, the dollar amount. So I'm going to stream today for that dollar amount to all my patrons. The next time I talk about them, though, I'm going to do the $5 tier. And I'm just going to keep going up, and then I'm just going to make new freaking tiers every time, and they're going to give me all their money.
You do like the Christ Killer tier. I don't know what you name your tiers.
So yeah, I've been kind of having fun with that. That's picked up my mood. And I've had a good foot day today. I've been cleaning all day. It's the first time really, with my OCD, sitting around a dirty house is the worst punishment. So to actually be able to clean up today has been a great thing.
Oh, good. That's good. Glad to hear that, man.
I'll probably regret it later, though.
No, yeah. How goes the going for disability? Is that still?
I mean, I'm really hoping that the surgery will fix it and I don't have to. But that's kind of what I'm worried about now. Is if the nerve damage is so bad that I can't work anymore, then that process is gonna have to start. So,
yeah.
But hopefully I can get back to work. If my feet can get back to being good, I'm actually gonna move careers again and go back into management for the evil automotive industry. But it's what I used to do, and it's where I made my bank. My daughter's old enough now that I can have a real job again.
Well, evil does pay. That's what I've seen. Evil does seem to pay.
And here we have a lot of automotive plants, and I spent a lot of years at one where I climbed up that ladder, but then I had my daughter and became a single parent, and I couldn't work 12 hours a day anymore. So
yeah. With me, I am also wrestling with my work schedule about how to make everything work, because my kid's going to go back to school in September, and so how do I see my kid while still working? And I used to do these overnight jobs, but finding one of those is difficult to do. And so I've been, just combing the want ads, basically seeing if there's one or two out there that I can grab. Yeah,
and that's something that I've been, considering. is even if my feet get better, they're not going to be better forever. So I might want to think about trying to find an easier job on my legs. And going back to that company wouldn't be that at all. So it would be something to think about.
Yeah, well, it's the thing about getting, I'm about to turn 53 next month. And, I realize I've aged out of stuff. It's like, I don't think I can do that anymore. I used to be able to do it, but I'm at a point in my life that if it does, I could hurt myself. And that's the first rule, is Andy not hurting himself.
Well, yeah, I'm only 43, and I was raised in the South. I've got that capitalist slave mentality. Work for what you get, and it's a conception that I'm really trying to change about myself. Like, I'm rereading the Communist Manifesto.
Yeah,
I'm really trying to buckle down and swash out what my socialist leanings are and how far I'm willing to go, because I'm just done with capitalism, and that's kind of where I'm at right now.
Well, you could graph this out. The more you've been victimized by American-style capitalism, the more hopefully, if you're aware, the less you're like a rah-rah cheerleader for American-style capitalism.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that's not the case. Most people at the bottom are freaking Republicans, and I don't get it. Like, or at least the ones that I know in my real life. I don't get it.
What were you going to say, Sammy?
What were we talking about? Capitalism.
Right.
Maybe that's where we went wrong. We think, work hard to make your money, but we should. The real idea, I think, is get as much as you can, doing as little as you can.
There's this saying that I was taught, and I don't know, it kind of always just stuck with me. Work smart, not hard.
Yeah.
And there are more. You don't have to work physically in order to make money. There are investments that we can make, and we legitimately, like, not illegal practices or anything, but legitimate investments we can make and be able to make a little bit of.
You really shouldn't even have to make investments, though. What you should be able to do is go to a job and make a salary that adjusts with inflation, salary that's going to pay for you to live. And unfortunately, we don't. Our average salary is way below inflation. It never rises with inflation, and the system is set up so the few at the top get all the profits. And there's something fundamentally wrong with that. It's just. You don't really. I'm sure there are still people starving on the streets, but it's not even about that anymore. It's about the family that has to struggle just to get by week to week, month to month, when the select few are living the lap of luxury off of their hard work. That's the issue with American capitalism.
I can only agree with that.
Yeah. Yeah. But especially when you're doing online work, when you're a content creator, you realize that just because you put a lot of work into something doesn't mean it's going to be successful.
I'm a musician. I can definitely relate to that.
Yeah,
and they don't consider it work. It's like. It's really weird. What they want you to do is go to a job and slave for somebody, when they don't want you to be free and slave for yourself, which is ultimately what we should be doing. We're all here on this planet. Nobody owns this planet. Nobody owns anything that's on this planet. We're all fucking here. God didn't put us here. We all evolved here. And, there's got to be a better system than putting value on everything and saying, oh, you have this, so you can have that. You don't have this, so you can't have that. That shit doesn't work.
Yeah. Yeah. True that. It's not sustainable in the long run. That's why they call it late stage capitalism.
Yeah. And that's why, history always repeats itself, and we break out the guillotines. And I mean, it's going to happen. They never learn their lesson.
Yeah. Yeah, I would. If I could think of a joke, I would say what Rage is saying right now, and try to get a joke out of it. But you're right. This history is cyclical. It doesn't always repeat itself, but it does rhyme.
I don't know why I got so hot about capitalism all of a sudden. I ain't even been watching the news lately. So.
You just got to be like, hey, remember that time that thing kicked you in the teeth? And it's like, how could you not be angry about that?
Yeah. Freaking
like,
America.
No, that really does kind of suck, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. You know, like, you know, people they get into management, like, right. So like here in Battle Creek, where there's a lot of plants, a lot of automotive plants, and people will get those next tier jobs in management, or you know, they'll be maintenance or something like that, and they'll make, you know, a good $28 an hour, and they think that that's banking. They think that that's life, and to everybody around them, that is banking, right? You are better off than everybody around you, but the CEO of that company is making billions of dollars. You know, like billions. All of them are. It's fucking insane, man.
And you know, I mean, I know I sound like a dick when I say this, but it's not your money; it's cancer money. It's really the medical industry's money. You know, you've just basically taken a small loan out from the medical industry. They're letting you use their money. You know,
basically,
but sooner or later it's going to come back. You know, if you live long enough. More than likely, you're going to be paying that back.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, we'll never have like universal health care here in America ever.
I don't want to play ball with them no more. I don't want to play their game. Yeah, I don't. Like,
well, me neither. I think I've been revolutionary for the last couple of years. It's unfortunate that, you know, the Trumpers put a bad name on that January 6th.
Yeah. What's amazing are people on our side, people who are atheists or people who are Democrats, who don't realize that, you know, there still needs to be radical change to make sure to solidify whatever gains we can.
We have to break up the oligarchy, man. We have to break up these monopolies, these corporations that own everything. We have to do that. If we don't do that,
rage worries me. No,
what's that?
Not as in you worried me or you saying it.
I worry a lot of people. I worry myself sometimes.
Well, the idea that people on the left are going to look at January 6th and sort of pull back even more and be even more quiet, not to look like that. Do you know what I mean? It still benefits the right, no matter what.
Yeah, and my definition of revolution has always been a political one. You know, like I don't want to break out the guillotines. That's all said in jest. I want to defeat the oligarchy through legislation, and you only do that through grassroots movements of political leaders that actually believe in what they stand for. And then you have to hold their asses to account when they get power, because power corrupts. It's just people don't understand that. They don't understand what's important. They only care about going to that slave job, so they can be slightly better than the one beneath them.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, is that you compare, and what you said, Rage, you know, you compare yourself to the people around you as and also, you know, it's seductive, the nature of power, right? So even if they just give you a small management job with an extra $1 an hour, suddenly you feel like you're a god among, you know, people that you were just working with. And it's the seductive nature of the system. Yeah, is to turn people against their own interests.
Yeah, I work in management, and I'm a bad manager. Like, my boss tells me that shit all the time, because like I'm like, the workers should have all the power, man. So I'm like the most easygoing, like, do whatever the fuck you want, boss. Just don't cuss at the don't cuss to the customers. That's all I really care about.
Right. Yeah. I was a boss for a while too, for a number of years actually, before my kids were born, and doing the same kind of work, you know, doing human service work. I was managing a couple of residential houses, and my main concern was with the safety of the people who live there. You know, the safety of the people with disabilities, and that, you know, I wasn't there to eke out money for the company. That's what I wasn't there for.
Well, I run my own company, and I have to say the smartest thing I've ever done is put people into positions and delegate those roles, because the softest, biggest pushover, you know, like my staff would seriously walk all over me. So,
That's me.
I can't.
People might not be able to imagine it from my persona online, but yeah, people walk all over me all the time.
Well, I get angry. You might find this surprising, but I get angry. And if I feel like one of the people, that I was working with was taking advantage of their position, and that reflected on the care of the people that they were serving. That just put a bee in my bonnet. To use such strong language, that would put a bee in my bonnet.
Oh yeah, I think we all live in the illusion, that if we just work hard, that we'll have everything that we want. But you never have everything that you want. And I think that's the problem with humanity. And it's this rags to riches American dream fantasy that we all live in. It allows the oligarchy to breed and live and stay instilled. And like if you talk to people that become new money, they'll talk to you about it. They'll talk to you about the old money in this country and how they are treated, and they could be as rich as them, but they're still not that oligarchy. It's something that's been in this country for a very long, probably since the very beginning. And it's going to be up to the people to actually destroy it. And we know pretty much everything now. It's just coming around to humans coming around to the same conclusion, which tends to happen in history in cycles, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I think there's something that, at least I didn't learn it until a little bit too late, but like the idea of living within your means, the cost of living, like looking at how much it actually cost to live for that entire month, and then to be able to make other to consider that, and then not chase the Joneses or try to keep up with what everybody else has got, like not worrying about all the new stuff that's coming out, and like really looking at your cost of living and trying your best to make it to where you're making more money than it is for you to live. Then I think that's one thing that has helped me.
And honestly, people need to wake up. Like, I'm sitting here behind these computers, which are pretty much just environmental death traps. And we mass produce them, and we can't destroy them. We can't do anything with the things that we make these things with. They're bad for the environment. People talk junk about AOC's Green New Deal as if that goes far enough. No, it doesn't. We need to really wake up and do something about the damage that's been done to our planet.
I really think it's going to take people choosing a different lifestyle, and there's a more independent, sustainable lifestyle that is out there for us. We just have to choose to do it. Like, we vote every day with our money and what we're putting our money on. And the more aware of where your money is going, that's one way to beat the oligarchs. Or, if you're not funding them, then, you're slowing them down at that point too. I do agree with you, though, Rage, with keeping up with the government and making sure that is people are being held responsible.
Like, did y'all see the news story about how the chunk broke off of Antarctica and it's now the largest glacier on Earth?
I saw that.
I mean, we don't have time. We just don't. Like, before I'm dead, we're gonna see some massive climate shifts, and they're not gonna be pleasant. And people need to wake the fuck up, man.
It isn't just this. It isn't just the question. It's a cascading effect, right?
Yeah.
So you have these severe weather patterns that will affect countries that are really poor. So a lot of chaos that's occurred over the last 5 years, decade, in terms of the rise of the right, at least in Europe, from what I understand, it has to do with Syrian refugees, flooding onto the continent, and the government's inability to deal with them. Well, you multiply that by 10 times if you get climate refugees from Africa and Asia, then you could just see the kind of dark scenario you're talking about.
Yeah, I mean it's gonna get crazy, man, and I don't know what the solution is. We need our new things, right? But there's got to be a better way to go about it, and using these fossil fuels and everything has proven to be a disaster.
It isn't a question of what to do, because it's pretty clear what to do.
Yeah, we gotta stop using fossil fuels. We gotta stop burning that shit.
It's a question of political will.
Yeah,
it's a question.
And I also I want to hold the people responsible as well. Us, the people, like the way we choose to live. The way we choose to live, that is an aspect of it.
It's that consumer society,
yeah.
If people, it gets to the point to where it is more widely known that hey, we don't have to live in their little box. We don't have to live by how they want us to. There's another way to do things.
Oh yeah. True enough.
Yeah, I mean it's too bad. Like the Christian evangelicals have made the whole commune thing look scary. It's
there's something about there is something about a bunch of us.
Yes, I agree, Rox. Sorry, Andy, I didn't mean to cut you.
There is something about a bunch of us monkeys getting together in the middle of the desert, up in the hills, and things can go sideways pretty fast without adult supervision and without external controls.
You start having two-headed children and shit.
Oh yeah. Excuse me, because eventually, primate hierarchy is a hell of a drug, right? And unless there are controls for that, things can go crazy.
Oh yeah. Just go over to the next town for me and look at the 12 tribes there. You'll get the point real quick.
Oh yeah. I imagine.
I just want to go back to climate change for a sec, because I don't think. I mean, everyone that's watching now gets it, but the general population, people who even have accepted climate change, I still don't think enough people actually realize that it's not, there's no stopping anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
That point happened years ago.
Mm-hmm.
It's only a question of how bad are we going to let it be.
Yep.
And it's going to be bad regardless.
It's infuriating too, because the deniers will sit there and they'll mock the science that has been absolutely correct. Yeah, there's been some missteps along the way, especially that's just the nature of technology. Things are getting we are getting more and more sophisticated with our technology, but the models and the predictions those models have made have been spot on, and we see everything happening that they have modeled out for the last 30 years. And Ox is exactly right. Our ancestors, the native peoples, have been speaking about land preservation and saving the world through environmental society for 240 years.
True enough. And just to bounce off of imaginary God, it is a fight with the traditional, with the conservative forces, whether it's energy or faith, whatever. It is. They see it correctly. Those interests, the oligarchs, the would-be theocrats, they see it correctly. It is an existential fight for their way of life, and we should treat it like the same. We should treat it the same way.
Oh yeah, I totally agree. North America opened up its oil wells, and it doesn't want to go back. And there's a reason why we didn't do that for so long. And you can see the results of that over in the Middle East, and the last thing we want is for that kind of shit to happen here, and it already is. Like people whether you loved or hated the No DAPL protest, everything they said was going to happen is happening, and they're still doing nothing. They're doing nothing about it. They're leaking. Eventually, they're going to leak into that river, and 40 million people's water source is going to be contaminated, and it's still do nothing about it. They still get their subsidies, and the oil is still flowing.
Yep. Hear that. Well, that's a good point. Well, imagine I got the thing. Yes, new technology can make old technology go away. However, old technology has lobbyists and a lot of money in its favor.
Yeah.
There's only so much the market forces will do when there's crony capitalism.
I mean, you have to consider, like, we use fossil fuels for everything, and people have profited off of this since well before the industrial revolution, well before that. Like, this system has been there forever. Like, there has been the poor, and there has been the rich, and there has been the people in between. This is not anything new, and that's why I was speaking. Like, everything happens in cycles, and eventually, those crazy ass right wingers are going to get together with the lefties that don't like what's happening, and shit's gonna go down. That's how revolutions happen.
Yeah. All right,
it's happened throughout history. I mean, all you got to do is study history.
We should start wrapping up because we're getting close to an hour, and I do have to work today.
I got to stream in an hour.
Oh yeah, what are you streaming? What do you got?
It's for my Patreon stream. It's about the shitty people.
Right. How about you, Tobin? You got anything dropping? Oh, you're silenced, brother.
I am working on something, and it will be out this weekend. I have 3 more songs that are going to be a part of the Truth Claims album, and then I will start re-recording them in a better fashion. You'll get to hear Kendra, and you'll get to hear me playing the drums, and I'm going to add some other good stuff in there. But yeah, come jam out with me. Come hang out.
Fantastic. What do you got going on this weekend, Sammy? Anything exciting?
Not that I can think of at this moment.
I have.
I'll let you know if I do anything exciting, Andy.
I'm having people.
You won't miss out.
I have people coming over on Saturday for a small soiree. I'm having trouble with my mouth. Yes, they've all been vaccinated. We're going to be hanging around inside. There'll be drinks. And this will be my first social gathering since the beginning of the pandemic.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Rock and roll.
Yeah. And of course, I'm doing that. Stu DeHaan is coming on the show, the late night show on Sunday at 10:30 p.m. We're going to talk all about Satan and those fuckers in Arizona. The Christian theocrat fuckers. Not everyone in Arizona, of course, the fuckers, but the evil fuckers there.
Oh, yes. It's something very exciting and interesting. I will be assembling flat packs. So,
Flat packs?
flat packs.
What's that?
Do you call them that? IKEA style stuff.
Oh, okay.
Oh, right on.
Assembling furniture.
That's
Instructions.
So,
Get the instructions.
What do you call that stuff?
I don't even know.
A name for it?
Furniture? Crap.
It's just
See, if it comes in a box and you need a screwdriver, we call it a flat pack.
Interesting.
So flat pack
I like that.
covered
It has a
flat pack.
good.
We just call it a box.
Yeah, I have to assemble. It's not. Yeah,
Never heard.
but
of
I
that.
like
That's pretty cool.
the name, Flat Pack. I'll
It's
probably even pick that up and use it.
Nice.
Well,
Tickling
I
well
hate
with
the
this roach.
word because it means fucking assembling it furniture. So
Yeah.
boxed
Yeah.
furniture. There you go, Ox.
Yeah. Ox nose. All right, everyone. I'm going to run. Thanks for showing up, everyone, in the chat. Thanks. You'll see me over the weekend at some point, and I'll have this whole crazy internet streaming thing down by then. Promise.
At least get yourself an avatar, Andy. For God's sake. For
Have some
fictitious
pride,
God's sake.
man. Have an avatar. With a turkey leg, maybe. I don't know. As long as it's not coddling a chicken.
Well,
all right.
all these different technical difficulty things you've been talking about. Use one of them as your avatar.
I like that. I'm gonna go with that, Sammy. Thanks. All right, take care, everyone. I'm gonna hit the end button.